we need a name for the group to introduce?
Not necessarily.
No. Our first question of the day is, what do you think it means to be a black man in America? Gentlemen, what do you think it means?
You want to start with your own question?
No.
Well, should I start? I think a black man in America, if you are one, then you pretty much have a certain type of mentality about the world and about the country that you live in. And I mean, it can be very broad. It's not necessarily like an F the world type thing, but in a sense, the only reason you're here is like from some negative stuff. So like the way I see it, you have to learn from history. And so when that's thrown in your face from being black every single day in a country that's not the norm, I think that's what it kind of shapes people's personalities. And depending on your own personality, you may choose to take that a certain way. Like you might get angry about it, you might get real pro-black, you might ignore it, but it affects us, I think, at the same level. So it all depends on how you deal with it. Like, it's up to you what it means to be a black man in America.
Yeah.
I think.
How you deal with it.
Yeah.
I think being black in America makes you bitter, not just because of what the past was, but knowing that other people know about the past, and when they see you as a black man and they're a different race maybe, knowing that they view you as a black man and have certain stereotypes that are far beyond stereotypes that any other race has in the world. And, you know, being affected by those stereotypes, people believing that they're true, that always kind of makes us, I think, maybe a little angry, maybe a little sad, you know, feel a little bit different.
What I think it means to be a black man in America, there's a certain struggle every day that you put up with. Knowing that you're a black man and certain people view you as a one-dimensional person, that that they think that you're going to do this, your whole demeanor is negative, and it really depends on when you grow up. If you grow up in a negative direction, you'll turn in that lifestyle your whole life. And I think that if you get an opportunity, getting a good positive opportunity, getting the struggle out, I say take it as a black man. Something that will educate you, that will make your life better, make your family better. And that's pretty much what I think.
Like that. I think, you got.
What I learned from the situation is not to even look at it as black or white or anything. I look at it like we are human beings, and I'm a male. And my main focus is to make sure that I do what I want, say how I feel, and make sure my next generation to do what they do. Like I don't want nobody to live their life designed by other people's expectations of them and all that stuff. So I feel the best thing you should do is make your own expectations and ignore all that extra shit. Like for me, when I'm going through my little obstacles, I just say, well, me as an individual, this is just another obstacle I'm about to overcome. So what I really want to say is a man is just somebody who stares at adversity and just step over it like you can't touch me. That's how I feel, at least.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think one of the main problems that we really have isn't what other people think about us, but expecting other people to think something about us because we're black, and we hang on to those negative stereotypes. We don't like them, but we still hold on to them for some reason. And yeah, in order to truly be free, you just got to see yourself as another person, you know, because we're bringing ourselves down by maintaining this black image in our heads. Oh, they think this way about us. They think this way about us. And I don't know, I think a big thing that's going to get a lot of black people confidence to move in that direction of just all people, you know, and one nation is the fact that we got a black president now. And
That does a lot.
seeing a black person interact with white people, showing us that we're just people, would probably be a really good thing for everybody.
I always thought that any society has a certain type of progression over time.
Yeah.
And like when you have a country, let's say you could take pretty much any country in the world right now. Not all the time, I mean, you know, things happen, but if it's right now like a stable, civilized country, there's a progression from when it started and there was a lot of negative stuff going on, like, you know, chopping people's hands off for stealing and things like that.
Yeah.
And it always progresses higher and higher as time passes and, you know, society gets more intelligent, they know how to handle stuff better.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a few people in control with any country, whether it's a democracy, a kingdom, whatever. That's just human nature. But I think the world, the planet as a whole, is... See, I want to say it's doing better, but at the same time, I know there's some stuff that's still going on, and that I feel like it's going to go on for a long time from now. But I do think it's a steady rising slope. And so when it comes to being a black man in America, I just feel like that particular position in life is automatically going to put you at odds with the norm. And it's human nature to want to flow with the norm. So obviously being white, being male, being Christian, that's going to be like the straight line in America. Or, you know, that's how people are going to look at it. In reality, we're all the same. We just have differences. But in this country, where we are in this time right now, that's normally what's looked at as standard, white, Christian, male. So anything that deviates from that is going to feel some type of oppression based on where the society is in its evolution. So a black man, a black woman, a Jewish woman, even a white woman, you know, back in the 20s, bro, they used to beat their women.
Yeah.
Like a lot more.
did.
They still beat them, but it was much more legal. And now things are better. Now we have a black president, so I think things are definitely on the rise. But the way we are right now, being a black man in America makes you strong.
Yeah.
Because no
that's
matter
true.
what, you have to live the next day. Like, you have to keep going. So that's something major that you have to deal with. In a white country, being a black man, the exact opposite, seemingly.
The exact opposite.
It's not the same as being Italian or Irish. You know, I mean, that's... A lot of black folks consider all of that to be white. That Western, European, even Eastern. Like, color is not until you get down to the Middle East.
Even to the simple primal level, just seeing that somebody's the opposite skin color.
Yeah.
You know,
But...
a lot of black people hate whites. A lot of white people hate blacks. We
And
used
it's
to do
the
the same
same.
thing to
It's the
them.
same thing. They're just on
Hundreds of
different
years
sides
ago.
of the fence.
Hundreds of years ago, we did the same thing. You know,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
bro.
how human beings interact with things that are different. But just like you said, it's getting better. It's getting better for women. Getting better for black people. I feel like as time passes and people get smarter culturally, and they get smarter learning how to deal with people, like we've been learning how to work together more and more over the years. You know, you know, the death penalty is going to be completely illegal eventually. You know, racism is going to be gone, sexism is going to be gone, and people are going to, you know, be more brotherly towards each other, I think. I feel like it keeps getting better.
I think a lot of it has to do with shedding your, like your animal instinct. Because when you look at animals, like a cat knows another cat, it's not gonna treat a cat the same way as it treats a dog. Like that stuff is automatic because it's about survival. So I feel like we're a part of that, but we're much smarter. So we're still the same type of animals. Like it's the same instinctual whatever that's in everybody's DNA, but human beings have the ability to comprehend, and we have an ego.
Yeah.
So we can think about what's going on and how we feel and what makes us feel the same way, but we're still going to feel those things. We all feel the same stuff. And the fact that we can see it and analyze it and actually change it, that's like the greatest gift. And it's working, you know, things are getting better, but we're still animals, so you're going to see animal stuff in your life.
Dude. All right, next question. How can we get rid of the negative image that we have as black people in America? You know, I think one of the main things that we do, even though we were wronged, a lot of black people like to hold on to it and blame other people for our problems, which, you know, initially, yes, it was other people's fault, but we're here now, you know, what are we going to do? On to the next step. All right, blaming isn't going to get us anywhere. What do you think we as a people need to do for ourselves in order to, get out of this slump that we're in America? Because we're in a slump.
I feel like a whole bunch of people was waiting for one person to do that when everybody should be their own leaders at the end of the day.
That's
So
probably
it's
true.
not about the image of the people, it's the image of yourself. You can be that person who be that leader for somebody else and keep on building.
That's a good
But they
answer.
don't look at it that way.
People, not everybody is a leader. Maybe that's why.
Everybody is a leader. They
not
just
everybody.
don't-
Everybody has the ability to
Yeah,
lead.
everybody has the potential.
But different people's personalities, leading is a much
Yes.
stronger
But
emotion. to
as
them, and it's more
humans,
important.
overall, as an animal, we like to be led. We're pack animals like wolves. Any wolf can be leader of the pack, but humans want to have a leader to be led.
So the question is,
However
why?
that happens is who gets it. Why?
Yeah, that's what I try to figure out.
Because it's smarter for survival, I think. I think if you're on your own, way back then in the caveman days, if
More
you're on your
than
own, you get eaten by something.
Yeah.
If you're together with people, y'all can stay strong as a unit. But, not everybody likes to tell everybody else what to do. So to make it easier, let's pick him. I think that's how it started.
Okay, thank you.
I think politics is very natural, actually. Anywhere you go, everything about every country, they didn't have contact with each other. Everybody made up kings.
Yeah, because
Everybody-
it's human nature, bro.
Everybody made up politics. I think it's interesting. And
Yeah,
that completely
animals
strays
too,
off
bro.
topic, so we're going to delete this part. You guys will never see this.
That was interesting though. People didn't learn from anything.
Maybe you guys will.
Yeah, what was the question?
How can we
again?
get rid of the negative image that we have in
Honestly,
America? I think he answered it perfectly.
The way you get rid of it is you have to actually care about getting rid of it. And I think there's too
Okay.
many black folks that bandwagon and that hop on the same thing and don't care about what matters most in life. And really, honestly, are fine where they are. Like, they just accept. They never want to progress. They just, because I mean, I can understand it's going to be hard, and it
Yeah.
is hard. And
Okay.
it's always going to be hard, but you can't be lazy about it. That's like the
I think-
most important thing.
I think the most interesting thing here about the answers to these questions is both of the answers were mentalities that we need to adopt as individuals, not concrete things that
It's
you
not
know,
an
we need to do
exterior
this,
problem.
we need to do this. You just got to start with how you think about the world and how you think about yourself, and then from there, that's the roots. It'll blossom out into anything you want it to be. But to get more specific, what are some things that you think should be set up? Programs,
Anything,
ways to educate ourselves. Like,
Anything
obviously,
with
we need to
kids,
pay more
bro.
attention to school.
you have to get the kids young,
Okay.
actually thirsty about it. Like, that's how you build somebody's mind. You can't change a 20-year habit
Yeah.
as easily as you can change, a 2-week habit.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to get harder the older the kid gets. So if we have programs for a lot of young students to learn different things about their past,
Oh, yeah.
and actually what's important in life, you'll raise generations of thinkers, man,
Mhm.
and not just reactors.
I think it all boils down to how what you do with the kids. The socialization. You learn about that. Socialization is what we're made out of. We are our experiences. We learn from our experiences. Unconsciously and consciously. And the two biggest socialization agents growing up in the time of your life where your brain is growing, where everything's getting absorbed and you're creating your core values, is family and school. And it's the family's. I think it's the family's responsibility and the school's responsibility to make sure that we have the correct values. That's why we learn things in school, like don't
Golden
steal,
rule
share
and
with your
all that,
partner.
yeah.
Go, little kids need to hear that. Because if you tell somebody when they're older, they might think it's a good idea, but it won't be one of the values that they don't even have to think about it. It's just like that. So you decide how a person thinks by how you raise them, and how you educate them in school. And you can choose that to be whatever you want. So
I
I
mean-
think we need to get parents together and teachers together. Really, we need to get all the parents on the same page.
Conferences.
They try it with the conferences, but I don't think. I
It's
think
too
there's
generic. That's not.
people don't do it.
That works, bro. That's what I'm saying.
How
I feel
long
like
have you
they
been
tried
having
it and
parent-teacher
nobody worked.
conference?
Some people it works because those people are on it. But all we need to do is get people to be on it and do it. If everybody went to parent-teacher conferences and took them seriously, it wouldn't be a problem. If everybody cared about their job, it wouldn't be a problem.
I think there's always going to be all kinds of people in the world, no matter what. Like you're
Yeah.
never going to have the perfect answer for how to
Yeah, but
make
I think
society the
I
best.
think the way to combat that is to have a stronger supportive network.
Yeah, and you got to have as many people on the good side as possible.
Like the government, for example, is a supportive network. If there was no government, yeah, there's a lot of things they do we don't like, and they're in the power, so we dislike the people who got more power than us. But the government is a supportive network. If there was no government, it'd be chaotic. People would do whatever they want. School is a supportive network. If there was no school, we wouldn't be able to learn anything. You need like a series of networks, like like a web to make it stronger. So I think what we need to do is, make some groups or something that parents can go to, that kids can go to. I think we need another supportive network. Church is one. And this is John. What's up, bro?
That's gonna be it.
We have John on the phone. We're on camera, but they can't hear you. So they just, I kind of sound stupid right now because I'm just talking to somebody they can't hear on camera.
So, how you
Like
feeling,
Diddy
man?
Kong.
How you feeling? You call me brother, right?
Yeah.
Let's see again.
What do you think it means to be a black man in
Is that a
America?
serious question?
Yeah.
Cause I answer that shit.
What does it mean? Yeah, what does it mean?
Nowadays, shit,
Right now.
man, it means struggle. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you black, you automatically at a disadvantage. I mean, you're at an advantage to a certain extent because, fortunately for some of us, we make it out the hood and shit, and it's a lot of shit that people don't go through. So we learn how to survive. So as a people, I mean, shit, we survivors and shit, but goddamn it, it's hard than a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then when you do get out, it don't matter. Like, you always a nigga no matter where you go. Because, say you going up the corporate ladder, they don't respect you, you know what I mean? You just some black monkey and shit. You just so happen to wear a tie to them, you know what I mean? And so, shit, to be black, I mean, it's
A train one is that.
shit. If you train, I mean, shit, it's always positive, but it also can be always negative. I mean, you can be a rap star, shit. But
You got one. You got a couple right here. Couple
I
rap
like
stars.
to think I am, but shit, I ain't made enough noise yet.
But we're gonna make some noise. Alright, next question. How can we get rid of the negative image that we have in America as a people, ourselves? Because yes, we've been wrong. Yes, we blame it. But we're here now. What are we gonna do? What should we do?
Hardest position right now in this country, but I think the harder the position, the more you grow from it. Like, the more struggle, the more you grow. So in a sense, it's a hell of a blessing to know how to deal with the shit that we have to deal with. A lot of people can't deal with that shit, bro. Like, I got coworkers that don't know anything about any type of struggle, and bless them for not having to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's another part of life that you don't know. So I feel like knowledge is everything. It's good that we went through this. It's good that we have this, thing that we are confronted with every single day.
Yeah. Coach always says you learn more from losses than you do
You either
from
sink or
wins.
swim, and if you're black, you have to swim.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Even though we don't like water.
We don't like water and we still swimming in this motherfucker.
I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of the questions are gonna be hippie-like answers.
Fine.
You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you gotta start from the basics. I mean, everybody. I mean, shit. We can change ourselves, but I mean, you always have the youth who's coming up behind us and shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good, and there's a lot of people out there who's changing and doing good. But you know what? You got the media, you got the music. I mean, all they promote is bullshit. You know what I mean? So that's what we learn. And then now it's cool. Like when I was in high school, I wasn't gangbanging or nothing because it was cool. I mean, I just so happened to get wrapped up in stupid bullshit. But it was cool to fail. Like I remember I was failing and I didn't really care because everybody else was failing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't
So you're
matter.
not pushed. The educational system, yeah, it's good. Knowledge is good. I mean, but then that's what they want you to learn. I mean, and by they, I mean I'm not necessarily
Yeah, so
saying.
it's a westernized
Yeah.
It's very
So-
westernized.
That's why I was in power.
Yeah. And man, it's shit. You get indoctrinated for what? All the way up to you're 18, and then you have the choice to either be working at Burger King or you can go to school and still continue to learn what they actually
Give them a lot of money.
Hell yeah, give them a lot of money and not really learn. Like, I haven't really learned too much right now. I mean, I had a psychology class. Okay, that was all right. And my religions class was the only one that I really learned from. There was a lot of math that I'm never gonna fucking use.
I think there's a couple different ways to look at that. I think that's one way, and I think another way is this country is based on white culture and how white people learn, how white people communicate, and the way that the school system, the exact way that the school system is set up and the way that our colleges work is more geared to that analytical intelligence that they usually have. You know, whereas there's many forms of intelligence. I think it's more geared toward them, the whole system. And I don't know if that's completely intentional.
I don't think it's just the educational system that's geared towards them. I think it's the entire subconscious mentality
Definitely.
of
Yeah.
whoever is in control of this country.
Right.
They
these-
look
Yeah.
at black people a certain way, and they
Yeah.
look at their own people a certain way.
Right. And
Everybody, you
and-
can't help but be biased because you grew up in a certain environment that's different from other environments.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whoever's in power, that's what it is.
Right.
You know?
And you know, we can, you know, speaking on these negatives, yes, there's all these things that's happening, but you know, despite that, we're in the middle of a fight. What do we need to do? You know, we got we're naming all the obstacles, but what is it that we should be doing despite all these obstacles? Because we can name them all
The
night.
first step is just recognition. You have to recognize that it's an actual struggle and stop trying to ignore it.
I think we're past the
blame
first
other
step.
shit.
I think we're past
But
the
I'm
first
saying
step.
everybody's at different steps. So there's some people that haven't really recognized.
I
Like
think all black people know.
they have an idea, but when I said that
For the
like, a
moment,
lot
for
of
the
people
time
don't
being.
care,
Yeah.
what I meant was that
They need to care about.
they know about obviously their past and everything, but they're not really looking at it and recognizing that, okay, my path to make it and, you know, conquer myself and conquer this world in the way that I want before I die is going to be a lot more difficult and a lot different than a lot of other people. So I have to do certain things. And
Okay.
that first step is to recognize a lot of people they're not there yet.
I got something because I realized I didn't even answer your question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a black problem actually. I just think it's a problem in general. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what everybody. Because now it's cool to be black and white kids. Oh fuck, you don't work with me.
Yeah. And by black, I mean dark.
I mean, you know,
darker
just
than
saying,
white.
In general,
Yeah.
It's like it's not even a race problem. We shouldn't even have
Yeah.
a race. It's a human problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
way that we can overcome that as a people, we need to do that as an entire group. And I
Not
don't even
treating
think-
people differently for their
Exactly,
looks.
because you know what I'm saying. It's even though black people struggle, white people, Asian people struggle, and then you know I'm reading this book called The Bitter Sea, and in China, like I was like, damn, I thought I had a rough.
Crazy stuff happening over there. Man.
God
When
damn.
Japan came over, they went through it.
Hell yeah.
Like bad, bro.
Mhm.
It,
Shit was
man,
rough.
Yeah.
So shit.
It's still bad in a lot of places.
Hell yeah. And then I was watching videos in Fallujah and like shit, like I'm seeing people getting
Crazy
blown
stuff
up
on
and all
that.
kinds of
In
shit.
India,
So,
it's crazy.
Man, I mean, it gets crazy in the hood, and it's, you know what I mean, whatever. But over in
Yeah,
other
remember when
places,
his life got fucked up
we're
in the
fucked.
first
Yeah,
one?
it gets a lot
Yeah.
worse.
So it's a bigger problem than like not saying your question is
Oh,
minute
no,
or
yeah.
anything, but you know what I mean. It's just like it's a bigger problem, and unfortunately, I can't give any other answer than really we need to change ourselves because you can't change shit unless you change your own mentality, your own
First.
thinking. And I think everybody just needs to. They don't have an understanding of who they really are. You know what I'm saying? We all just need to love ourselves and love each other, and just we all need to heal.
Right.
Be able to. We're not living, man. We alive, but we ain't living.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't really know.
Live together with everybody.
Somebody told me the rawest quote for him. He said like a lot of people want to change the outside world, but the world you see is like a mirror, and you staring at your reflection. So when you're in the bathroom mirror, you don't wait for your reflection to smile. You smile yourself, and the reflection follows. So everything spirals outward. So like
Interesting.
that's why people say change yourself, because it's gonna change the way. It's not gonna physically
Yeah.
change shit. But it's gonna change the way you look at everything, so it's
Right.
gonna change the way you deal with everything.
Yeah.
With everybody, it's gonna rub off.
And so, like, you
And
teach
your
people
life
through your
experience
actions.
is gonna be different than if you just, walked around with your head down all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely starts like from the heart, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Being confident of who you are and being yourself.
What's the next question?
Express yourself. I got a lot of questions. What are some areas we need to work together to improve as people? As people in America, let's put it that way. As people in America.
Oh yeah,
That's
acceptance.
the answer.
That's it.
That's the answer.
Oh yeah, acceptance.
If you look at nature, bro, when shit works together, it's better, it's stronger, it's faster. Like, you know the whole thing about horses? Like a horse, horses run faster when they're like running with other horses.
Yeah.
Just because they with their people, they have that mentality. It's like a real animalistic idea that things work better when they work together. So it's the same thing with societies and people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If we help each other, it's obviously going to be better. But, you know, society has a long way to go. We've come a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're still animals, so we'll get better. It's just how many people care about getting better.
Hell yeah. So you didn't said everything.
What are some big accomplishments? This is just off the top of the head. What are some big accomplishments you think we made as people? Because I keep asking about what do we need to do. What do we need to do in a negative sense? You gotta talk about the positive too. What are some things, that we've done as people in the past? Like how we treat other
We're
people.
still here. We're still in America.
Well, women can vote, first of all.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We ain't changed no more.
The only thing that I can really look at is the lesson. I mean, they did all these other things, but the lesson is you're not stuck in this position. You can change it. That's the one lesson. Like, you can change it.
Mm.
That's the message that I got from everything. It ain't about like what
Yeah.
they actually did. It's the fact that I did change the rules.
Yeah.
And it helped.
It is that, yeah.
That's how I see it.
Break it down, yeah.
Yeah, the one problem I have though is like you only see that kind of change drastically in a country that's actually stable because it's taking advantage of other stuff. The way we deal with foreign policy is like some incredibly fucked up shit. Like I don't know
I know.
if people actually follow what happens with
America,
America
yeah.
and how we like fuck with people, but it's bad.
I know.
It's very, very like,
Cuba.
hey, from 1 to 10, bro, we a solid 20, man. Like we
Yeah.
get it in. And that's the
Motherfuckers
reason why
is not
everybody
like us.
is driving cars, bro. Every fucking body has a car. That's unheard of.
Anywhere else.
We live in a bubble, fam. We are like the most
A money
privileged,
bubble.
most powerful. Bro, it's like, man. This
Most
is not
diverse.
this is not the world, bro. Like the third world.
This is the most
that's what
diverse
most
place
of the
ever.
planet looks like, fam, the third world.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is like on some higher mountains type shit.
Most
bro.
of
We're
it?
away from everything.
Yeah, I mean,
This shit is not normal.
a lot of it. I mean, we have good areas, of course, but then the majority of it is.
So we're like a utopia.
You can name off the cities,
Of the
bro,
planet.
off the top of your head, the cities that you know are doing good.
Right.
Tokyo, Beijing, New York, LA. How many little villages do you think there are?
Yeah,
Bro,
there's a lot of people.
We still got indigenous people that's not a part of society.
There's a lot of
bunch
people.
them.
Dang, bro.
The world does not look
There
like
are,
this.
yeah, there's people still naked.
Oh, yeah.
That's the naked.
In the woods somewhere.
That's crazy, bro. That's going on right
Yeah.
now. Somebody chilling, eating
Oh, yeah.
cricket.
But it's crazy how you think it's crazy that's going on right now.
Don't even think about it. Outside, out of mind.
That's the whole thing, bro. We are all
Outside,
ethnocentric. We
out
all
of
have our
mind.
own little goggles on.
Outside, out of
And the
mind.
best thing you can do for anything, for your own growth, to make society better, less violence, whatever, is just, make the goggles bigger. Try to take them off. That's when you start understanding different perspectives. You keep an open mind.
I think a good way to
Some
expose yourself to that is to travel
Yeah.
and meet people from other
It's
countries.
experience.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
But then you also have things that put people in a box on purpose. Like certain religions. tell
Oh, yeah,
you
it keeps you right there.
What happened? This is how it happened. This
Yeah.
is when it happened. This is how long
That
it
might have
happened.
not even been the intention of the
and-
religions.
Like you said, bro, people are pack animals.
But
They
it
want to
happens.
belong to a pack. They'll herd towards something that they feel is right without trying to
Yeah.
exploit themselves.
Back to our little caveman diagram I set up. The reason why we do that is there might be another caveman from another village killing motherfuckers. So we gonna stay in our little group. I gave like a big ass caveman example about why we do shit.
Really?
About like where politics came from.
Man, where did that shit come from? I know it came from
Politics,
Bro,
came
it's-
from
all right,
lions
look, bro,
roaring at each
look,
other and the
look.
loudest one.
There's 8 cavemen sitting there.
It evolved from that. It became
Yeah.
a conversation.
They see a big ass boar that they want to kill. They want to hunt it. I can't do this shit by myself. Gotta get together. Ain't nobody, everybody arguing this shit. So they just delegate one person to tell them what to do. Pick a leader.
But another thing that does, bro, when you look at it that way, that's
Uh-huh.
putting fear on a pedestal. Because it's kind of like saying this stuff happened because they had to eat or they were scared. Like
I think that's exactly what
I
this is.
honestly believe that the good stuff that happens, like the reason why. Have you ever heard like people say the reason why we look at babies as cute is because we have like a DNA instinct to protect them until they
Yeah.
can protect themselves?
Yeah.
Like it's all natural
Because
about.
we worried about them getting hurt.
It's about
Scared.
survival. But I also don't think it's only about survival. I
Oh.
think love is like the strongest thing because when you love something, regardless of why you love it or what you don't want to happen to it, that'll make you do anything. It'll make you completely selfless. And that's like the goal that we see that we can't get to, like that feeling
Love
where you know you just
everybody.
do whatever.
Be selfless.
Yeah, and it's the hardest thing to get to
Like
because
that.
we're selfish. We control one body, so we want to protect ourselves
Yeah.
and do what's in our best interest.
We should
But
all
as soon
control
as we
multiple
realize
bodies.
that all of this is the same thing, all of it's the same thing, it all works better when everybody works together.
And you just made me
Soon
come
as
up
you
with a
realize
raw
that,
comic
that's it.
idea. On a side note.
So what?
You just made me come up with a raw idea for a comic on a side note. Control multiple bodies. Everybody.
Some people need to be controlled because some people are just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Man.
Suave. He doesn't agree with that. But you know why those people are stupid?
I
Because
mean, of course.
they got brains stupid.
The environment.
Yeah, the
Wu-Tang
environment,
said,
definitely.
Wu-Tang said, I teach but whole heat because some savage niggas are lost beyond reach.
Damn.
And that's the true shit. Like, some people, they're just too far gone.
For
It's
real.
not that they can't change, it's that you have to be realistic with yourself.
That's how the human mind works. It gets to a certain point, it creates all its core set of values at an early age. The core set of values get fucked up at an early age. All of them.
Oh, yeah.
You're not gonna change that when you're 35.
I think it all has to do with people not knowing about the law of attraction. That you are what you think, and then you manifest your own reality out of your thoughts. So
That's
I think a reality is given to you, and then the fact that like it places limits on who you believe you can be and what you believe in, what you believe you can do. Because who says you need wings to fly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like
Why the
related
fuck do I
to
need
the
wings?
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Why can't I
Basically
just
the
throw
same
my
thing.
hands
That's
in the
that
air
mirror
and
smiling
fly somewhere?
shit,
You know what
bro.
I'm saying?
It's everything. That's that mirror smiling. Because
It's
you waiting for shit to change. You think this is separate from
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
going on right here. Like, it's all the same energy, bro.
Exactly. Just like I mean, and people look out to God, and I think that's wrong personally,
What?
because like looking out to God. I mean, like all this religion stuff is to get you to believe that we are not a part of this creative spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because we
Yeah.
are creating the
I
short.
like that.
Mostly, we're just not
I
responsible.
like that.
That's what
Yeah,
people
that too.
think. Like, I'm not responsible
Somebody else
for
has
what's
to tell me
happening
how to
me,
do it.
so I can't change it. So I have to look up to this father figure.
For a leader,
Yeah.
there's a search for a leader.
Yeah, but we are God, bro.
Exactly. Pronouncing a name that we don't even know. Like they say it's Jesus or Yeshua or whatever. This guy
Motherfuckers
it
don't
could have
know.
been many people. You know what I'm saying? It could have been some hobo who just understood life.
And he goddamn sure did have blonde hair and blue eyes. His mom wasn't named Mary, wasn't no damn Paul's.
And why the fuck is he white? You know what I'm saying? Because if he was in
wasn't.
Bethlehem, it's hot than a motherfucker.
I think even they know Jesus is not white.
There,
You know,
well, I heard,
if that person actually existed, they know. I mean, come on. That back in that time, people didn't move around like that. You just gonna have a random white man.
it's because in
Bethlehem.
Europe, the only reason is because in Europe, when Christianity started spreading, they didn't want to have an image of a person that didn't look like anybody.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to be one of the
I
people.
think
I don't
that's
think they
wrong.
did. I don't even think. To start off, I don't even think they did it as a racist thing. I think they just
Nah.
did it for something
I
people
don't
relate
think they were
to.
malicious. That's just human nature, bro.
This guy look like us.
And hey, it's selfish. It's selfish.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get selfless and start accepting that, okay, this person that we worship, first of all, you shouldn't be worshiping anybody.
You know how many people
You can show respect to people, but you shouldn't be praising this person like they're going to save your entire life.
Right.
That means that you are not responsible for your life.
You know how many
That's
people
the
I
first
see
step
buying
in
white
anything.
Jesus candles in my job, man.
Because that's the norm.
That's a Family Dollar. Ain't no white people there.
Yeah, bro, all these questions that you have, fam, like all these the little 5 group of questions, it all pertains to the same thing.
Yes, it
and the
does.
same
That's
idea.
probably because that's the only thing I fucking think about. Getting better.
What mom told
That's all I think about is people getting better and getting together.
But you know KRS-One, the old school rapper.
Oh, yeah.
He came to Champaign and spoke at U of I, and I was with Mom.
Yeah.
When he was there,
I
bro,
heard
at
about
the
it.
Union, and I remember I went to the bathroom, came back. She was standing up because you know how like when it's time to take questions, like the audience member
It should
stands
be at the
up
podium and shit.
talks to him. She was going off on him, bro. She
My mom went off on KRS-One.
KRS-One,
Damn,
fam.
what?
And I know he remembers this because he said,
She went in, bro. I heard about that.
he actually said to a room full of black professor history people that he doesn't understand why they teach slavery in school. And they were like, so it doesn't fucking happen again. Like, what do you mean, why don't they teach it? You can't just ignore something like
Right.
that.
Kids
You know
gonna
how-
grow up.
Yeah.
What if I took a person and had them do work for me and
That would be
didn't
easy.
pay them? Maybe I can do
If
that.
ain't nobody saying no. you
Nobody's
gotta-
ever thought of that before.
Yeah.
What was she saying?
Man, just that in a nutshell.
Did he say something about aliens too?
He said something like going back to where we come from or something like that. I don't know if he was talking about a planet or a state of mind or what.
He might have been talking about Africa.
But all his followers, bro, they call him the what the fuck did they call him, bro?
So he's like a Jesus?
They call him the teacher.
It's kind of weird.
The
man.
teacher, like every time you talk to one of them, like after the little talk or whatever, they'll be like, yeah, the teacher tells us that we must
Get the
Damn,
fuck
that's
out of
fucking
here.
crazy.
Shaolin Temple. What are you doing?
I feel
That
bad
nigga
for
started a
referring to myself
religion.
as Jesus in a lot of my raps. So I do that.
That's your music.
Man, I say some offensive shit. Especially in the
Doesn't
song we
offend
just
me.
recorded. Man.
I want to hear it.
Wait, what did I just say? There was one thing, what did I say?
Give me a line.
Fuck, I'm always like making a reference to Jesus. Like at first, because Jay Electronica is my favorite rapper. He's like my absolute
Jay
favorite.
Electronica.
Hell yeah,
Never
man,
heard
that
of him.
dude's a fucking animal.
For real?
You never heard of him for real? Nigga, whenever you get time, go to YouTube. But what he said, they threw rose petals at the feet of the Christ when I entered the center. And then I started learning about that we are God and shit. So I was like real religious and shit. And then after a while, I was like, well, fuck that religion. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. I was a slave. I mean, I was just being controlled. And literally,
Yeah.
like the Jehovah's Witnesses, I was controlling as fuck. And that's kind of how I lashed out, like through my music. Like,
Yeah.
well, in the song we did, Murder, where I said, for Christ's sakes, where's the thorns to put my dome through? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And then,
Motherfuckers gonna get mad at your shit.
yeah,
They
and then
gonna
Keisha
listen.
Greggers, you remember we listened to it? I
Yeah.
fear none on life, nigga. Bow down
Yeah,
before
no,
Christ.
Christ, nigga. Yeah, I remember that shit.
I just say shit, just
That was
like
raw.
throwing shots at religion. And that's
People
what
be
I'm
like,
supposed to
oh.
do about it.
Oh shit.
I mean, a lot of people think it's funny or whatever, but
People get. I bet some people get mad, don't they?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, you always gonna have people to get mad, but those same people, the madder they get, that means the more in that little box they are.
The
and more
funniest
closed-minded
thing
they are.
to me-
you can't even take a joke about nothing.
Yeah.
You can't take a different opinion about
For real.
something. You can't take anything. You're just so. This is what it is.
One of my greatest joys
God
and
bless.
pleasures is to argue with a Christian about religion, or argue with a religious person about religion.
Dude, I wish you met me when I was
Secretly,
religious.
it's fun.
That would have been the shit.
I
It
would
was
made
cool.
you want to hit me.
No, hell no. But I would have been saying some
We gotta
shit.
stop anyways, my man. And then we bring it
Press the
back.
red button.